Hey everybody. So yeah, I wasn't planning on going live. I still have like yesterday's makeup on and all that, but who cares? Can't be vain. We're all family here, right? So I just posted in the group a little while ago that I had sent out an email about a problem that a lot of you have in your dog training businesses, in that you are getting contacted by or sold to by other dog training business coaches and have bad experiences. And that has kind of quickly become like the number one reason why somebody would object to doing anything or watching anything of ours, because they're like, oh, I don't know, I'm kind of a little gun shy, had this really bad experience with this other coach. And it's been something we've heard for years, but it just is getting more and more where there's more people having these bad reputations. So we were talking about it, and Jason's like, oh, you should just do a quick live and just talk about what to look for in a dog training business coach, because, we don't do all the things and we don't teach everything. So there's definitely like other people that we would recommend for a variety of different things that you can learn from or hire to do things for you that are not even what we do. So how do you recognize who's good and who's bad? Like, what do you look for? So I want to know your thoughts too, and feel free to share in the comments what your experiences have been with other companies. You don't have to mention any names if you don't want to. You can. We normally don't publicly say anybody's names. What we'd rather do is tell you how to recognize them by their fruits. So like basically how to recognize somebody who's not going to be either the right fit for you or someone who's not the right fit for anybody, in any kind of business. So let's just go through like the top things, basically, that what you want to look for in anybody that you hire to help you with your business. And that goes for coaching, and it goes for any kind of consulting or a course that you want to watch. It goes for a service. If somebody does advertising or does, create advertising campaigns online for you or anything, what would you look for? So we'll mainly talk about coaching, getting somebody to actually teach you things. And that includes online courses. So whether it's one-on-one or in a group format or in a course or anything like that, what would you look for? So the first one is if they are super pushy, because I don't like that personally. And there's a few reasons that I don't like that. Number one, I'm just nice. I don't think that it's nice to be pushy. I also don't think that it's the way you want to be taught to be. So if they are pushy with selling to you, chances are they're probably going to teach you to sell in a pushy way. And I don't like that. I don't like teaching it that way. I like teaching a conversational, very easy, comfortable sales process. And I don't think it's nice to be a pushy salesperson. It doesn't feel good, and you don't want to learn to be that. So why would you say yes to someone who is selling to you that way? So that's the first one. The second one that's another kind of pet peeve of mine, is that their testimonials are really vague. So if you hear all these things about, reputation that somebody has about, or, you ask in a dog trainer Facebook group, hey, does anybody have any experiences with this person? And people just say, oh yeah, they're great. I really enjoyed learning from them, or like just things like that. That's great. That's nice. But if they're really vague in that way and there's no specific things that get said about results that people got, like, oh, I did their course and then I immediately doubled my income the next month and it's been growing ever since, or I made an extra $30,000 that month, or, whatever, anything like that, that's more specific about the impact that it had on their business and what that impact was, other than just like, oh, they're great, then that's kind of a red flag to me in some ways, that you might be able to learn things from them, but the learning might be limited to something that is just a concept or a principle or a mindset, which is important. But if you don't know how to do things and the steps to take and the actual tactics and strategies and things like that, but just how to do it and why to do it that way, like the psychology behind it and all that stuff, then you're always going to be missing some things. So you might enjoy the experience and get some things out of it, but not have like a very specific, clear outcome that you got out of it. You just might be like, oh yeah, that was nice. But that was nice is sometimes not worth like several $1,000s. So you got to be careful about that too. So if you do invest in somebody's program or course or coaching program or anything like that, make sure that the results that other people get is pretty clear, and that they not only have a lot of success stories, but they're pretty specific about what the outcomes were, that it's not just, oh, they were really nice and I enjoyed it. Because that might be nice, but then you might not spend as much on something that's just enjoyable. If it's something that's going to pay you back a lot, like you spend $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000, and consistently people make it back really quickly, and consistently people make back, that their income doubles or triples in the month or the couple of months after, things like that, then you kind of know, well, it's going to be worth the investment, because this is what happens when other people use it and apply it and learn from it and that kind of thing. So a lot of success stories, specific success stories, and that kind of goes along with just like their reputation in general. you should be able to, if they have a bad reputation, you should be able to find that out pretty easily. So don't be afraid to mention specific people, like on Facebook, and say in a dog trainer Facebook group, hey, has anybody had any experience with this person? If you can do that and get a lot of really great specific comments about, with raves and things like that, then they have a good reputation. If you can't get that, or the responses are kind of vague, or you get, a consistent response of like, oh, I had a really bad experience with this person, then, everybody's going to say, there's always going to be one person that says something negative about anybody, because not everybody is for everybody, right? Like not even, I'm liked by most people because I'm nice and I like introverts, which most of you guys are, but there's sometimes people who don't like me. And they'll say like, oh, I did her course, but I just, was really annoyed at how fast she talks or something. So if there's a consistent message of like having a bad experience or getting nothing out of something, then you should be able to find that out. Like people should have, especially if they're charging a lot, should have a really good reputation before you invest in it. Like you should know that you're going to get, that it's an investment, that it's not just an expense or an experiment. So that's really important too. So you should be able to find out their reputation by asking around and saying their name. And that is okay to do that, to ask around with specific people, and don't feel like you're being mean by asking for feedback from the general public of dog trainers of what their experiences are. What else? The results are not clear about what you'll get or what you'll learn. So let's say there's a course or a workshop or a coaching program, and the promise is, I'll just help you make this much money, or I'll help you be successful, or something like that. That's a little bit vague. You don't really know what you're going to learn or what you're going to get out of it. So being able to figure out, like, these are the topics that I'll learn about, and this is the outcome of learning those topics. These are the things that are included. So it's not just about like how many videos and how long is it and all that stuff. That doesn't really matter, the actual features or the processes of what you're going to learn. But you should be able to have a pretty good idea of like, I'll learn these skills, and this is why it's important, and this is the impact it'll have on my business, that it's not just some sort of high level, success coaching or something vague. And that's one thing, because I do a lot of coaching for other coaches as well. So outside the dog training industry, because I'm involved in a lot of like online marketing coaching groups and things like that, mastermind programs and stuff. And one of the things that drives me nuts about coaches in other industries is that they are very conceptual. That they say a lot of things about like abundance and, living your best life and things like that. And I'm like, people don't know what those things mean. Like they're not specific. They don't know what they're going to get out of it. Like, what does that mean? And getting them to like talk about the actual like before and after that people experience in their businesses. Like if you've seen any of the videos on my YouTube channel, people who went from making $3,000 a month to making $20,000 a month from the same number of clients and working less. Like that's pretty specific. It's not just like, oh, I like my business more. That's important, but it's not really that specific. And same thing about like the outcomes, that like what you're going to learn in a program and stuff. So don't be afraid to ask for extra clarity about what you're going to get and what you're going to learn and why it's beneficial, that kind of stuff, before you invest in something. They have limited or no dog business experience. That would be another red flag. So I will tell you, this is kind of a weird phenomenon in the last 2 or 3 years, that a lot of people, because I think the dog training industry kind of exploded during COVID, and so many new dog trainers came on the scene, and new online businesses came on the scene because of, me and a few other people who have helped dog trainers for many years are also in kind of the online marketing world, and people are aware of our businesses, and mine in particular, that I'm involved in programs where everybody talks about their launches and everybody talks about their workshops and how they did and how many they sold and things like that. Then people are aware of things that I've done, and they're like, maybe teaching dog trainers is a little bit of a gold mine, and maybe I should get involved in that. And so these people have like targeted dog training businesses as their audience without knowing anything about the dog training industry. They weren't dog trainers before. They don't know what it takes to be a dog trainer. They don't know what dog owners are like. They don't know how dog trainers think. They don't know how dog owners think. None of those things. And that can be a major red flag. So if they are not really highly involved in the dog training industry and know it really well because they've had a successful dog training business themselves, and they know your audience, they know you and they know your audience, they know dog owners. That's really important, because if they don't have that experience, then there's so many things that are unique to us as dog trainers that people don't understand if they have never been in the dog training business or worked with a lot of dog trainers. And, specific things, I hear advice all the time in internet marketing Facebook groups or just other online marketing things or whatever, other general marketing groups and things that would be good advice for different industries, like a realtor or a restaurant or, another service business, and is terrible advice for a dog trainer for a variety of reasons. So if you're working with somebody who's not super familiar with dog training specifically as a business, that can just mean that you get some advice that doesn't work, sometimes, because there are a lot of things that are kind of specific to us. They are not who or where you want to be. So that's another red flag for a dog training business coach. If you look at them and either something about their personality or their success or their messaging or how they dress or something like, well, here I am in like just a plain hoodie, but who cares? Who cares about that? That's, I'm just going to be comfortable today because I'm recovering from a cold. And yeah, so for example, there's someone in one of the mastermind groups that I'm in who on her website, like she's super fancy. She's dressed in like business attire and she's talking about business and financial success. And I kind of imagine that if I was going to learn from her, that I would become more like her because I'd be trying to learn from her and she's going to teach me to be more like what's worked for her. And so since I'm not a corporate type person, that she just might not be the right fit for me. She might be more fancy than what I'd be going for as just a personality. So it's a smaller thing. But if they are not the kind of person that you would like to be more like, then that can sometimes be a red flag for you. And that's more kind of like a personality thing. And it goes back to the being pushy and aggressive. You don't want to be taught to be a way that you don't like. So if you don't like their personality, chances are they're going to teach you to be more similar in some ways to their personality. With my personality, the thing that I love most is understanding other people. I like understanding people. I like figuring out what makes them tick, why they do what they do. And that's served me really well in not only my dog training business, but in helping you guys and helping you understand dog owners. So you know what they value, you know what to put in your programs because people want those things, how to strategically price your programs, how to word things on your website that make people want to contact you, how to get clients that are ideal for you and exactly who you want to work with, how to sell comfortably, what to say, what to ask, specific sentences. All those things are behavioral psychology things. And that's what fascinates me. And so I'm kind of a nerd about the psychology stuff. And a lot of you guys love that stuff too. And because I love that stuff and you love that stuff, that makes the things that we talk about enjoyable. And something that we can kind of are the same about. And so, yeah, look for people who are like experts in the things that you wish you were an expert in and do and behave in ways that you like, that you get along with them and their personality is, matches yours. That is important if you're going to be learning from somebody. And keep in mind that different people are great at different things. So one dog training business coach or company or marketing company might be great at, let's say, automation for like bigger companies that are scaling and need help with automating a lot of things and creating systems and having a bulkier CRM and, SOPs and, all the things. Or somebody might be really great at hiring and HR related stuff for you guys who have facilities. One might be great at Google ads or helping you or teaching you how to do technical stuff. Like there's a whole bunch of different facets of marketing, even just in marketing coaching. There's all kinds of stuff. There's the advertising side and website development and website writing and Google ads and Facebook ads and other social media things and how to get more engagement, how to do YouTube. And like, there's all these things that are under just like getting people to find you. And then there's all these things under getting people to choose you, how to talk to people when they contact you, how to keep leads from ghosting you, how to get more people to do a consult, how to get more yeses at the consults, how to make more per client, what to put in your programs, how to price your services. Those are the things that we focus on. Like that, some of you guys asked me and you sent me PMs about who this coach was that I was talking about, which I'm not going to say publicly, but a lot of you know who I'm talking about. And there's more than one, which is even scarier. Those are the things that we focus on, like the getting chosen once people find you. Pricing, program creation, website copywriting, and sales, how to talk to people, all that stuff. So all the things that influence whether or not they contact you, whether or not they buy, and what they buy, and how much they spend. Those things. Those are all also part of marketing. And that's what our specialty is in teaching those things. So you guys who are not already in the masterclass, those are the kinds of things that we're going to be talking about, specifically as it relates to where to put your focus in your business right now, where you are, how to figure out what to even do next. Like what is the thing that's going to impact your business the most? And I was going to cover these things in the masterclass, like how to know if somebody, like what are the signs or red flags of something to not invest in when it comes to your business knowledge. But I figured I'd just cover that for all of you guys because I think it's really important for everyone to know. And then also how to, because your time is also super valuable too. How are you going to know who to spend time listening to and what YouTube videos to watch and that kind of stuff. So hopefully this list gives you like a little bit of a test for whether or not you use your time or your money or your effort or anything listening to anything somebody tells you. Oh, hopefully you guys can't hear the vacuum cleaner. One of the kids is going out there. This is a new microphone and it's pretty good, so hopefully not. Coaching program I did pushes social media like crazy and journaling. It's not everyone's cup of tea. Yeah, so it's definitely not everyone's cup of tea. And I'll go ahead and tell you my personal opinion on both of those topics. Journaling, I don't know, I can't tell you a huge amount about that, except that writing is always a good thing to be in a great habit of. The better you are at writing, even to yourself, especially with a pen and paper, rather than just on the computer, influences a lot of things in your brain and your abilities and your skills and communication and how you connect your thoughts to your actions and how you get ideas. And there's tons of science around that. So anything related to that is probably good advice. The social media, it's not that social media doesn't work for dog trainers. And I would never say like don't do it. It's not useful. The thing is that most of the time leads that come from social media just stumbled upon you rather than searching for a dog trainer. And when they stumble upon you, they tend to be less likely to take action, meaning less likely to actually do a consult. So more likely to ghost you, less likely to sign up, if they do a consult. And so you'll think, oh, I'm getting underqualified leads. And part of it might just be because they just stumbled upon you. They didn't search for a dog trainer. They didn't go on Google and type in dog trainer near me, looking specifically for the service. They stumbled upon you. And a lot of times those people who stumble upon you also tend to be brain pickers, that they just message you and they're just like, how do I get my dog to stop jumping? And you're like, should I answer that? Should I just be like, yeah, we can handle that. Let's do let's schedule a consult, schedule a visit. And then they ghost you. And the reason was they weren't really super committed, because if they were super committed and had like the pain really that would make them take action, they probably would have gone on Google and looked for you already. Looked for a dog trainer. So that's why social media tends to be at the very least a back burner thing after making sure that your search stuff is taken care of, that people can find you when they type in dog trainer near me, and that when they do find you and they go to your website, that your website is making them want to contact you, and that once they contact you, they are likely to do some kind of next action, do a consultation, visit with you, come visit, do something, have some kind of call, some kind of thing where you can sell to them. And then that when you do that, they're the most likely as possible to say yes. And that when they do say yes, that they don't only pay you for one lesson and then disappear. So you can see like there's a whole bunch of other things that might be holes in your marketing where people are falling through cracks, and just dumping more people, more volume in through the top and getting more eyes and getting more people to know about you and getting more people to see you and see your posts and see your ads and all the things may not pay off if there's something messed up somewhere down the line beyond that. So then working on the other things like your programs, your prices, your sales process, and your website might be more of a focus for you than social media. So while social media might have a lot of benefits, it may not be the thing that needs to be on the front burner right now. It may not need to be the thing that you focus on right now. It might be like 7 or 8 steps away. The first step might be something completely different. So those are my thoughts on that. The coach did have some dog trainer background, but still wasn't the greatest fit in the end. I lived and learned from the experience. And some people's just experience is just, I got a thing or two out of it, but it wasn't great. So maybe that's worth time if you've got lots of time, but maybe just not worth a lot of money because the payoff isn't really all that clear. If you're going to spend a few $1,000s, you should expect to be able to make that back, really quickly. Or that should at least be the experience a lot of other people have. And then of course it's up to you and your implementation and how quickly you go through it and you apply it and all that stuff. Nothing is a magic bullet. Everything is like you learn, you apply, and hopefully it works. And if other people have learned, applied, and it worked really well, then that's a good sign that it'll do the same for you. But of course, you still have to learn, and do before it'll do anything. But yeah, that's may not be worth your time or your money if it's just kind of nice. Okay, so you guys a lot of you guys have asked questions about the masterclass, but it is pay what you want. So if you are broke or struggling or have trust issues or whatever, you can just get in for $0 if you want. If you know me or you read the page and you feel like it's worth more than that, then pay what you think it's worth. And that's why we do it that way. We can give a ton of help, but even if you choose $0, we found that tends to make you pay attention to it more than just making it straight up free. So that's why we do it that way. If you do invest a little bit, you do tend to pay more attention to it, and then you actually get the benefits from it. If it's just a free thing and we just put it out there, then you sign up for it and ignore it. And that's just the tendency of humans. I do the same thing. There's tons of things in my email that I signed up for free that I don't pay attention to. So that's why we do it that way. So pay what you want. So you guys have seen the link for it probably, but if you just go to makeitasadogtrainer.com. So tons of stuff to cover, great things to do. And if you want more help that's beyond that, of course, I will have that available for you after that as well, only for those who want it. So we'll cover tons of things that you'll be able to actually use. Oh, that's another thing too, is that if you learn things that you can't actually go do something, that if somebody's teaching stuff and you're like, oh, that's nice, that's interesting, I have some new ideas, but there's nothing that you can actually go do with your hands to improve your business that next day, then it's not really worth that much, in my opinion. I like to just give here's the thing, what to do, here's how, here's the steps, here's why, here's the psychology and the principle, and here's how that principle and psychology kind of relates to other ways to do this. So you get kind of the big picture and then also the strategies. And that's how I like to teach stuff. So I hope that helps you guys. If you have any other questions or you want to share any experiences, if you're considering someone to hire for any service or a coaching program or course or anything like that, feel free to ask and just say, anybody have any experience with this person? Don't be shy to do that, because there's a lot of I have to be a little neutral and polite and not badmouth specific people and just tell you these things. This is how you recognize them. But you don't have to do that. You can say, I worked with this person. Anybody have any experiences with them? Or I'm thinking of working with this person. Anyone have any experiences with them? You guys can mention specific people and ask for feedback. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that it's a little bit trickier for me to call out certain people publicly. So, some of you guys are writing to me and you're like, who is this person you're talking about? Is it this person? Is it this person? Or I heard this and that. So it's really easy to gossip about, which is fine because I know you want to know. If it's somebody who teaches the exact same thing I teach, then, we might have our own opinion about that as well, because we do have copycats. It was somebody I was even good friends with 6 or 7 years ago, who I'm not good friends with because I came across a Facebook ad where she was advertising something that was word for word exactly like something I was doing. And I was like, what are you doing? And she's like, well, if you don't want me to copy you, we should just not be friends. And that's literally how the friendship ended. So there are people who just straight up word for word copy things that we say. And I can take it as a compliment, I guess, some of the time, but it does result in some bad experiences for other people occasionally as well. I want you to be successful, whether it's with me or anybody. So I try to protect you guys a little bit as well. I've got a little bit of mama bear syndrome. So if somebody is being mean to you guys, I tend to get pretty mad. So, I will try my best to keep you guys from getting hurt as well. And I'll catch you again. See you later.